All right, everybody, welcome back to another episode of Red Thread Ministries. This will be part 2 of potentially 4 on the Vanishing conscience. We didn't manage to make it all the way through the first part the first time, and we still might not make it through the first part on this go around, but we're going to try.
We never really know what we're doing.
And that's
That's
probably
fine.
obvious, but at this point, right, 11 in. But anyways, Brian, what's up, dude? I know we haven't talked much over the last week or so, but
Well, today was, I guess it's all happened quite quickly. I think since the last episode, my grandma fell and passed away.
Yeah.
And today was the funeral, in which I gave a speech, and everyone seemed to like it. I was complimented a lot. On the speech, made me feel good about myself,
I want to cut in that
because this is something that I want to do in a way.
Yeah. I want to.
My dad, who's a non-believer, granted, he's full of emotion
Yeah.
and beside himself, but he's like,
Of course.
man, Brian, you could be a minister. And I was like, I can't believe my dad just said that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, that's crazy, dude.
I was like, and then everyone else was like, well, this is so good. And the pastor who was doing all the, running the show, she was like, that was beautiful, and I hope that you're a writer. That's what she said. I was like, okay. And everyone else was like, it was written so well. And I was like, oh, dang.
You should listen to my podcast.
Yeah. where I don't write hardly anything for it.
Oh, yes. You wrote the whole thing out. That's really impressive, man. I would just
for the speech, I did.
Yeah.
I did.
I don't know how you do that. I just get so beside myself at funerals. I just couldn't. I could get the first sentence out probably, and you just wouldn't understand the rest.
I didn't think I was gonna. I don't know, man. I went up. So my cousin went before me, and she choked up a lot, and it was really getting to me.
Yep.
And I was like, how am I going to do this?
Right.
And I was just praying, and doing breathing exercises the whole time.
Oh, man.
I'm just like, I'm going to do, and I get up there and I just get in the zone, dude. I get in the zone and I acted it all out. It was all good. I don't even know, I remember people laughing.
Yeah.
But I wasn't even looking at, and never once did I even look at the audience. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Never once did I even acknowledge I was doing it in front of anybody.
I was always like that in speech class. I would always get marked down because I just couldn't look at people because then it made it real. Like I'm standing up in front of people talking about something I didn't study.
Oh, I wasn't worried about that. I was worried about if I saw them, maybe I would cry.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, that's a good point. Yeah.
And so I was like, I'm just going to ignore them. I got to do this. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do. Oh, man. That's impressive, dude. You should have.
That place was packed.
Was
the place was packed.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Was it at the usual location? Was she from Hartford?
Yeah, well, yeah, she was born here.
Yeah.
She went to Roll High School.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
You didn't even know that was a thing.
I did. Yeah, because I had family members who went there.
Nice. I think she graduated in like 56 or something.
Oh, yeah. My grandparents used to live just down the street from that school, I believe. Like within a 2-minute walk, probably. Or
awesome.
Well, maybe 5 to 10, but
it's awesome. No one knows what we're talking about.
No, not at all. We should probably just cut that
part out. But nah, dude, that's what keeps it fun.
Yeah, I honestly, we really don't edit much of anything unless we just completely forget what we were talking about. And even then, I've probably cut a total of 10 minutes from all 11 of these episodes. I would, if I had to put a number to it. So we try to keep
Yeah,
it as.
not much, peoples. Only the big goofs.
Yeah.
Little goofs stay in.
Yeah, yeah. Even if I,
But yeah,
ugh. Dude, I will say there.
overall a good day. Overall good day.
That's good, man. At the risk of totally derailing that, I will say that there are times when I listen to myself and I'm like, I need to cut this because I sound ridiculous. But I'll leave it
I
in,
don't
dude.
even want to listen to myself.
No, I don't think there's ever.
Don't even
I don't know that I've ever had to cut anything you say.
don't even want to do it.
But anyways, yeah, I'm sorry, man. That really kind of sucks. But it's cool that you got to honor her in a way that left an impact on people. You know what I mean? Enough so that they felt compelled to tell you how impactful it was, right?
That's true. Yeah, I felt like I did her a service
Mm-hmm.
that I felt good to do.
Yeah. I mean, what more can you really ask for? You know?
I don't know what else I could have done.
Yeah.
There was only 3 of us that gave speeches.
Really?
I thought it was only going to be. I thought it was only going to be 2 of us, but
Mm.
someone else did. And hers was the most emotional one. The third one, the surprise one,
Yeah.
that one
Oh,
really hit on me hard.
yeah. Dang, dude. So
My goodness.
your dad didn't get up and say anything? Yeah. Well, saying that, I don't know that mine did when
None
his
of
parents died.
my grandma's siblings did a speech. No,
Yeah.
they're more of the main audience.
Yeah.
Everyone else is a stand-in.
Yeah, that's true. You're
You
right.
you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
They're the family. The rest of them are mostly also family, but
Yeah.
further distant family.
Right. Yeah, I guess to get up and do a speech on like your parent dying, I wrestle with that a lot. Um, just
Yeah.
because, yeah, because I want to, but I don't, I don't think I could make it through it. But also, man, it should be a time to rejoice, really. And I can tell myself that now, but once, the inevitable happens, that's definitely not going to be rejoicing that I feel because the vast majority of my family is Christian. So I know that
Oh.
they're going to a much better place and they're far happier and they're probably not concerned with, you know, how I don't know, emotional I am. So I would rather it be like a time of happiness and rejoicing, like the Vikings used to send people out on a boat and shoot arrows at it and then party afterwards, That's kind of how it should be. It should be a
Yeah.
celebration and it's never that, dude. It's just a bunch of people crying the whole time. And I'm a sympathy crier.
Well, I knew mine was going to have a lot of jokes in it,
Mhm.
so that's why I told my cousins, like, you go first.
Ah,
She
yeah.
was like, yeah, mine's going to be sadder. I'm like, okay, you go first,
Yeah.
then I'll cheer them up.
Yeah. Yeah, that's how my little brother was when my grandpa died. He was just mad. That dude could deliver. I mean, he was super emotional, but for some reason the jokes landed harder because of that. I think when you're laughing and crying at the same time, it's kind of funnier to me. I don't know, but
Well, I mean, I've seen so many comedies and hundreds of hours of stand-up comedy. I know how to deliver comedy.
yeah, well, that makes one of us.
And so I knew how to do that. I went up and did it naturally. I did not practice the speech. I'm just gifted with the ability to do speech.
Mm, lucky
And
dude.
my dad was shocked yet again. He was like, "Well, I remember when you did the speech at your brother's wedding. It was great."
Yeah,
And I remember that's what he said yesterday, and I
yeah.
was like, "Yeah, I can talk when I want to." So that's all I said.
Yeah, then you should have plugged your
Yeah,
podcast.
I got the ability.
I also have a podcast, Dad. Listen to it. You think he listens, or has he told you as much?
think
does
my
he even
mom
know?
said that she plays it around him
Yeah.
to force him to listen. He talked about Jesus a bit the last couple of days, though. We're planting some seeds, I think.
Yeah, dude. That's great. What if if this whole mission we're on converted your dad? How amazing would that be, dude? We could hang it up after that, I think. Not because he's not because he's like so far gone or anything like that. That's not how I mean it. It's just the fact that it did have an impact, right? And that's all we want out of this. So to see that happen in real time,
Maybe
just
he'll
hang it
listen.
up, dude.
Maybe the speech will make him listen more. I don't know.
Yeah, no, it'd be great. But
So
anyways,
far, our podcast isn't necessarily towards non-believers,
yeah, that's true.
to be honest with you.
Yeah,
So,
I
and I would like to have a video towards non-believers at
yeah,
some point.
I'm just no good at that, dude. I can tell
Yeah,
you
we'll
my
do it.
lived experience from when I wasn't so much of a believer, but I was never like into the atheist side of it. I was just dismissive of it all. So it's hard for me to understand where they're coming from. Like I didn't rail on people for being religious. That wasn't my whole thing. Nor did I actively seek out arguments against it, right? I would just
Right, those people are strange,
mm,
man.
yeah, it's like why are you
Some of the most some of the most hate-filled people.
yeah. It's like why are you so entranced with disproving this? Like what is it in you that can't just see it and move on, right? I don't know. This is just a very strange place to be. And I will say
Apologetics is fun.
it is. But you know what's interesting, Ben? And we'll get into the topic soon, I promise. We probably just lost everybody. But so I often struggle with feeling that my life has changed at all. Like I've had any sort of real transformation from the Lord, if that makes sense. However, we were watching this movie Terrifier, right? So when my wife pulled it
Who
up,
was you and your wife was watching Terrifier?
well, she likes that stuff, right? And
Okay.
I'm not a horror fan, but I would watch it,
I
right?
wouldn't I don't know if Terrifier is horror.
Well,
I mean, it would be listed under it, but
yeah,
it's different.
yeah,
It's more of a modern, thriller.
yeah. But
More of just a modern
the
guy that
theme,
just hunts people.
yeah, but he's like a demon or something. But the theme
I
of
don't know what
that
he
is uh something I paid more attention to, like the complete disregard for human life and just the amount of gore in that movie, dude. It's comical to some degree, but so and I've never
Yeah,
felt
it's
this
out there.
before. We went into it and I felt uneasy from the get go. I was kind of like, man, I don't want to watch this. Maybe I should just play a game or something, right? So I was like, no,
Yeah, Terrifier is like not even like a fun kind of horror.
no, it's not, dude. It's really not.
It's
And
uh it's kind of like a extra gory, extra shocking kind of horror for people that already watch horror that's desensitized to regular horror.
right,
Now there's like extra horror, like
yeah,
Terrifier.
right. And that now affects me, like the whole depravity of it all. In that there are, I know he's a demon, I know it's fictitious, but there are people who very likely could be like that, right? Just a complete disregard for human life. But so
Oh yeah.
there comes a scene when he's got this, he's cursed this woman. He like cut her face all to pieces and stuff, and she's getting some clothes ready because they're gonna go get the main character essentially. And she grabs these little twigs or sticks and she shapes them in the form of a crown. And immediately I knew where this was going to go, right? I was like, in my mind, I'm like, oh, she's going to make a crown of thorns out of that. No doubt about it. Sure enough, dude, fast forward the last 10 or 15 minutes of the movie, and she's wearing this crown of thorns, and they've makeshift crucified this guy on a wall, right? And then, war selection, nice. And then, they like cut off his head, and sorry, this is graphic, and then they draw like a picture with a halo above it. And dude, it just made me so angry in a way I haven't been angry in a long time. And I was like, why are people allowed to do this to our God? You don't see any other God being mocked in that fashion, right?
Well, it's
And
because, I mean, I know the answer to this, and that's because that's our, dominant religion.
mm-hmm, yeah,
You know what I mean?
well, there's more.
If it was a movie from the Philippines or something, maybe it'd be a Buddhist one or something.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? That would make sense to me. I think I think maybe your lack of foreign films, perhaps.
no, there's a
I don't
ton.
know.
Well, in
I
the
don't know. All
Philippines,
I know is that people wouldn't know
that's not
other blasphemous things.
well, the Philippines, there's a ton of Catholics. There's also a ton of Islam,
Yeah,
Muslims.
I said that because the only Buddhist I've ever talked to or I ever knew well lived in the Philippines.
Oh, really? That's interesting. So far as I know,
Yeah,
they're predominantly Catholic and uh, Muslim. But
I have talked to several Catholics from the Philippines. Yeah.
yeah, but the fact that ordinarily in the past that wouldn't make me as upset as it did
Right.
was it kind of felt like I had to watch it because I needed to feel that to realize that there have been changes. I guess is the long-winded way of getting to the end of that story, but it was kind of nice, man, to feel that like
I
there
also
is
want
a
to say
definite
that
change.
I've not seen Terrifier.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, don't.
I've seen Terrifier 2.
Mm-hmm.
I watched the sequel with the boys
Mm-hmm.
without seeing the first one.
Yeah, dude, I mean, the gore and stuff is comical, but it's just that last part that really, like, why that? Why the crown of
To be honest,
thorns? Why the crucifixion? Like, it just wasn't necessary to the story. It didn't add anything
well,
that I'm aware of.
they do it to be blasphemous.
Yeah.
That's the whole point.
Well, and the fact that these actors and actresses they do it right, like, I don't
Well, they
think.
like it.
Yeah. Well, so unless they repent, right? I don't think that the Lord would take too kindly on the day of judgment, right? That you chose the world and money over, you know, not blaspheming his name and image. You know what I mean? The
Yeah.
it's
I
just like,
mean, are there? I do believe there are degrees of sin,
mm-hmm.
but I don't know where things lie. I wish we had a chart to know the
Uh-huh.
felony level of that's a first degree sin.
Mm-hmm.
That's a second degree sin. You know what I mean? That would be cool because I actually do believe there is a such thing as first degree sins, third degree sin. We just don't have it
Mm-hmm.
fully listed. It's just that God knows it.
Yeah.
But also, you should kind of know it by. I mean, we know certain sins are worse than than
Yeah.
others. You know
Right.
what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
But that'd be a nice thing to have.
It very much would be, but that would take the fun out of the difficulty, huh?
For example, if they're completely non-believers and they're doing it just to be blasphemous,
Mm-hmm.
just to add more shock and horror to it,
Mm-hmm.
is that a huge sin?
Mm.
I mean, it is a sin, but they also don't know anything.
Yeah, that's true.
It would be worse if a believer, did it.
That's true.
That'd be a much bigger sin,
Mm-hmm.
for example. So,
Yeah, you're right.
a lot to be said about it in some ways.
Mm.
Um, there's a there's an old saying that the poet needs to look around the world to know the world that he lives in,
Mm-hmm.
you know?
Yeah.
And I was like, I like that. I'm going to turn into the priest needs to look around the world to know the world that he lives in, because we do need to know
Yeah.
what the world is getting into
Right.
to know who we're trying to save.
Mm-hmm.
And so, does that mean you need to watch horror movies? No.
Yeah.
That isn't a good reason to watch 100 horror movies.
Right.
I will watch some horror movies in October.
Mm-hmm.
I try to only watch supernatural horror movies.
Yeah.
I don't want to see movies where there's just a guy chasing a girl.
Yeah.
That's stupid. I don't want to see. It's not even entertaining to me, and it's dumb. I want to see, ghosts or demons,
Yeah.
and I want to fight them.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Even if they're not fighting it well or the way that I would,
Yeah.
it's still more fun to me that way.
Yeah. No, that's a good point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Overall, I like spooky things. We've talked about this before.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, spooky things make me feel closer to God in many ways.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, that feeling that you had, that you're like, that's, like that would anger, it would anger you. It'd be like, wow, that's, look at this, Lord.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They're dissing you because they're full of demons.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that you're real, and
Right.
and I love black metal. I wish I didn't love black metal so much. I don't listen to a lot of it.
Yeah.
Lately I have. Well, just these two songs. Well, I found a new band I like.
Yeah.
They're not new, and I'm not going to promote them here.
Yeah.
Um, I want to find more Christian metal,
Yeah.
because I know that we're both pretty into metal. We're usually into different metal, but
Yeah.
we can agree on a lot of things more these days than we can before.
Right.
Because I'm not so obsessed with metal only having to be impressing me with the guitar at every second.
Right.
I, if anything, listen to prog metal. I still love listening to a lot of prog metal, but it doesn't need to be that.
Yeah,
to have
dude.
fun.
I just
I want
listen
to find more. Yeah,
it's all about the breakdowns,
yeah,
dude.
And I do love a good breakdown.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Well, to that
And black metal has none.
Yeah. No, I know that. Yeah.
That's the one genre that you'll like never see it.
Yeah, that's why I don't like it. But man, there's because I throw down, or I used to slam dance here at concerts, right? Because it wasn't like trying to kill people like it is in the States, where you get jumped if you get in the pit. But dude, when that breakdown would hit, there's just a feeling that washes over you, like you gotta let something out, right? And I kind of wonder now, where was that feeling coming from? You know what I mean? Because these weren't Christian bands. In some cases, maybe the complete opposite of that. But it's like, dang man, what was grabbing?
Well, you were just letting the music, man. It was just the music.
Yeah.
That's all it is. And I feel that too, because as a musician, I wish I felt music as much as I used to.
Mm-hmm.
But I haven't listened to bands in a long time.
Yeah.
So I think maybe I should.
Yeah.
I listen to a lot of electronic stuff, listen to a lot of newer stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I try to not listen to the music I listened to in the past.
Right.
Just because, I don't know, I felt like I overdid it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I've listened to that album so many times. Do I really want to listen to it again?
Right.
And the answer is, yeah, maybe you should.
That's how I was with August Burns Red. I could listen to most of their albums just over and over and over. But they had a good message and sweet breakdowns, so I guess I was very fortunate.
Yeah, because they are a Christian band.
Yep. Yeah, I actually hung out with one of the guitarists. I think his name was Brent. We when I was stationed in Italy, they played a show with Veil of Maya, and we hung out with. Man, I want to say it was their guitarist the rest of the night, but we met him. Just happened to meet the band at August Burns Red, or meet August Burns Red at a bar, and we were just talking to him. It was cool, man. It's really kind of wild. It's kind of wild that we got to talk to him, and it was super normal, right? Like there was no pretentiousness
Yeah,
or anything. We were just talking about regular dude stuff, and I was like, man, this
I
is
love
this is pretty awesome.
meeting musicians. I haven't met a musician like that in a long time.
Yeah,
Like one that you really respected.
right.
I haven't met anyone like that in a long time, actually.
Yeah,
I should go see something.
yeah,
I should go to a show or something and meet them.
yeah. Excuse me. Yeah,
And I met some members of Coheed
that's crazy, dude.
and Three,
Yeah.
of course, Coheed's brothers band. And
Well,
they toured together,
you
and that
know,
was cool.
what's kind of wild is because we're foreigners
What?
here. Me and my buddies, we always went to Japanese shows, and like it got to a point where the bands knew us personally. Like they would always stop to talk to us, and they'd see us and point us out and stuff, and that was such a cool feeling. I mean, they weren't like huge bands, big in Japan, I guess, but that was always such a cool feeling, man. Just to be recognized by the dudes we came to recognize. You know what I mean?
Like who? I wouldn't know them, right?
Probably not. One band was Loyal to the Grave, and then the other was, oh boy, you see, it's been so long that I haven't even listened to them, so I don't know that I could tell you.
Hey, it's the White Boys.
Yeah, but I mean, I guess we always made an effort to go, like, talk to them as well. But anyways, if I
I need
remember,
to find more Christian rock. I
uh,
want to find more Christian music that is alternative.
mm-hmm.
I pretty much dislike almost anything I listen to on Christian radio.
Yeah, yeah,
It's almost all just absolutely terrible.
mm-hmm. Yes,
And the main reason is because I don't like that kind of pop singing.
right. No, I would agree.
I like I like singers to be a little different.
Yeah,
For example, if you took Billy Corgan
mm-hmm.
and put him on American Idol,
Mm-hmm.
he wouldn't go very far. All right?
Yeah,
And the people who go far on American Idol are the kind of people I don't want to hear.
right. Exactly.
And I picked him. He's just a good example, but a lot of unique singers. Isaac Brock of Modest Mouse sings really weird. He
Yes.
wouldn't. They would have laughed. He wouldn't have got on the show. They would have laughed at him during the audition.
Yeah.
He would
Yeah.
he would have went nowhere at
Right.
all. Robert Smith of The Cure. I'm just thinking of unique singers
Yeah. Excuse me. Sorry.
that I love. I love unique singers. I love singers that sound like they they weren't supposed to do that.
Right.
You know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
which is funny because that was the case for our Robert Smith, at least. He wasn't even supposed to be the singer. Singer quit, and he's like, "Oh, I guess I'll try it."
Yeah. Well, it worked out for him, right?
Um, it, it sure did.
Mm-hmm.
I love The Cure. Love The Cure. One of my favorite bands of all time. Used to be a Christian Cure.
They used to be a Christian band?
Yeah. Oh, no, I said there needs to be a Christian Cure
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
band. Maybe there is.
Yeah. I'm sure there is.
I don't know.
I'm sure there is.
Probably not.
Yeah, probably
There's
not.
The Cure's a strange band.
Yeah. No, I believe that. I've heard like maybe 2 of their songs. But
Dang, dude.
yeah. Excuse me. Oh my gosh, dude. My daughter was sick, so I think maybe I'm getting a little something too. But let's try to get through this before I start coughing. Anyways.
We're way off topic.
Yeah, so what I'm going to do is I'll put some timelines in there so they can skip over that if they don't want to hear us just talk for 20 minutes.
Yeah, okay, yeah, good point.
Because we're at 30 minutes already, dude. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
I know.
Introduction done.
Yeah.
Let's get into it.
Well,
Let's get out of the world. Into the word.
thanks, Martin. So just this part is pretty much calling me out specifically. No, I'm kidding. But it's the soul's automatic warning system, right? And I think the best way you could start it off is telling the story that he considers, he being John MacArthur, a parable, for the conscience. So let us begin. So in 1984, an Avionic Airlines jet crashed in Spain. Investigators studying the accident made an eerie discovery. The black box cockpit recorders revealed that several minutes before impact, a shrill computer-synthesized voice from the plane's automatic warning system told the crew repeatedly in English, "Pull up, pull up." The pilot, evidently thinking the system was malfunctioning, snapped, "Shut up, gringo," and switched the system off. Minutes later, the plane plowed into the side of a mountain, and everyone on board died. That's wild, dude. So he then goes on. As we noted in the previous chapter, the wisdom of our age says guilt feelings are nearly always erroneous or hurtful. Therefore, we should switch them off. But is that good advice? What, after all, is the conscience? This sense of guilt we seem to feel? How much heed should we pay to the pangs of grieved conscience? The conscience is not infallible, is it? So how do we know whether the guilt we feel is legitimate or whether we're simply burdened with an excess of angst? What role does the conscience play in the life of a Christian who wants to pursue sanctification according to biblical means? Now, that simply burdened by excess angst, I think speaks to me. Because I joke about having a guilty conscience all the time, but as we will come to learn throughout this book, that's probably an indicator of a weak conscience. And I am most certainly in possession of one of those. Because I was just reading this stuff, and it speaks to how I treat my conscience. I just feel overwhelming guilt about everything all the time, dude. So it's
Really?
yes, dude, over stuff that I probably shouldn't even feel guilt about. I don't know what part of me ascribes that much guilt to some
That
of the
kind
things
of
that
sounds like a common issue with people who are really new with the faith.
he actually gets to that. Yeah, that's a good point.
You
Mm-hmm.
you really need to realize that Jesus does love you,
Mm-hmm.
um, and that every little thing isn't like the worst thing in the world.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And especially, I think I said this before to you, but whenever bad thoughts come or bad feelings come, that is not you sinning. That is, and then the tempter came.
Mm.
That's what that is.
Yeah.
So only your reaction is the sin.
Yeah.
You can think it all you want,
Mm.
fight with it all you want.
Mm-hmm.
That's still not sinning at all.
Yeah.
Um, and if you feel like you're having a problem with that, then the easiest thing is to just talk about it with others.
Right.
Um, don't let things fester.
Yeah. Yeah.
Everyone knows that. I
Mm-hmm.
think even non-Christians know that.
Yeah.
That's
Right.
easy. That's an easy one.
So it's very interesting you say that, because I was listening to this Tucker Carlson interview with his name's Bishop Barron. You may have seen him. He's the priest that got like super jacked, because I think the story was he got like manhandled one time. I want to say it was like during a possession or something, or maybe someone just attacked him. But he's like, I'm never letting
Huh.
that happen again, and he got super beefy. but it's great, dude. But he's one of the most intelligent, articulate people I've ever listened to. It's crazy. But Tucker asks
Is that
him,
the one you linked me?
no, that was just about Satanism all
Yeah,
over.
I didn't think that was the one you linked me,
No,
and this one sounds fun too.
I actually will link you this one, because I think there's a lot of good information. Because to be fair, he doesn't make it too, I, for lack of a better term, Catholic focused, right? It's very much kind of a middle ground, right? But Tucker asks him, he's like, so how do you deal with the bad thoughts that become more pervasive as you pray and things like that? And I really struggle with that sometimes, dude. I'll be praying and heinous things will come to my mind out of nowhere. And
Yeah.
I mean, use your imagination, right? But I I often have to stop my prayer and just like this sounds funny, but so I'll stop and kind of try to get those thoughts out of my head, and then I'll pray louder in my head to just kind of drown out the other noise, right? So it's almost like I'm screaming my prayer in my head. But he's like, yeah, just don't do that. Just acknowledge them and let them go. And I've heard this before. It's not revolutionary, right? But for some reason, when he said it, it stuck. He's like, because if you dwell on it and you're actively trying to get these thoughts out of your head, it's just going to come on 10 times worse. And that is very much what happens to me sometimes. But
One thing you can do, a trick that I know about is, which isn't like a faith-based one,
mm-hmm,
but just a technique in general, is
mm-hmm,
that whenever invasive thoughts come like that, you say something audible to them,
mm-hmm.
like something annoying, like, "Oh, look who's back," and you'll call it something like that, and
Yeah.
that actually helps some people,
Yeah.
and it like snaps them out, it lets them know that it reminds you, it grounds yourself,
Yeah.
remind yourself that, yeah, that's what those are.
Right.
It's just something stupid, and we'll call them out audibly.
Yeah.
Um,
Look who's back.
yeah, yeah, almost like reminds me of a show that I watched, that like one of the last episodes. He has a thought about a restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's like a restaurant that like like all the lights are just like, well, like light bulbs without anything over them.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
like really hipster like.
Right.
And he was like, nice lighting, you couldn't afford coverings or something like that. That's what he thought. And like it's a whole conversation of him in his head,
Yeah.
and he thought that, and he was like, oh, hi, father, you now live in my head now, I see. And because it's a British show, by the
Yeah.
way.
Yeah.
I just thought that was so funny that he acknowledged that invasive thought as directly from his father. It's something that his dad would say about this place.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what I'm talking about. He acknowledged
Yeah.
what it was
Right.
and how stupid it is.
Yeah.
You know what
Yeah.
I mean?
Duh,
I
that.
never thought of it that way, but he literally did that exact thing.
Yeah.
It's the same technique. Yeah.
I'm gonna try that next time. My wife and kids will probably think I'm crazy, but that's all right.
Well, there is just being mindfulness. I used
Yeah.
to really pray about that with the Lord. It's like, okay,
Mm-hmm.
I get into the mindset of, yeah, I'm going to do this now.
Yeah.
And I really need to be able to catch myself in that situation.
Mm-hmm. Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so you need to be mindful to be like, wait, almost like you got to catch yourself dreaming
Mm-hmm.
almost.
Yeah.
Because if you're going to do, like these sins that you would do in the moment,
Mm-hmm.
if someone making you really angry or whatever it is,
Right.
um, you got to be like, you got to stop yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And once I've learned to do that, that's when you noticeably mature as a person,
Mm-hmm.
regardless of faith or not. You
Right.
know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I
As
believe that.
long as you can really always catch yourself, watch yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um, that's helped me tremendously
Yeah,
over
I'm
the
bad with that.
years.
I'm very bad with that. Because
Pray about it.
oh, I do.
Ask God to increase your mindfulness, man.
I do. I try. Maybe not those words specifically, but I have to be careful because I always get what I ask for in ways that I don't always want it. So I have to really be careful with my phrasing. Not that he can't see right through it. I get that. It's kind of a joke. But anyways, this whole weak conscience thing, it kind of worries me, right? Because he says a lot of what you said, that it's kind of indicative of someone who's new to faith. And Paul, very specifically, paraphrasing obviously, but he's like, don't feed into other people's weak conscience, like, because you're just gonna lead them down the wrong path. Like, people who are stronger have a stronger conscience. Like, you kind of just have to humor them and help them through it. But he being Paul very explicitly states that it's indicative of weak faith, and I think that's the part that's worrying to me. And I kind of fear that I overcorrect in a lot of aspects of my life. And I'm worried that if I do that in this aspect, I'm just going to start ignoring those warning signs, the pull up kind of thing, because I have a nasty
Okay.
habit of overcorrecting, and then I become someone who's numb to the warnings, and it gets me in a bad situation. So it's been a
I
very
understand.
eye-opening chapter for me, if you can't tell. But
Yeah, I felt like you needed to read it,
yeah,
so it's nice that it's helping.
yeah. Well, to be determined on that, dude. It's just full on calling me out all the time. The so what is the conscience? I think this is probably a relevant part to read. MacArthur says that the conscience is generally seen by the modern world as a defect that robs people of their self-esteem. Far from being a defect or disorder, however, our ability to sense our own guilt is a tremendous gift from God. He designed the conscience into the very framework of the human soul. It's the automatic system that says, pull up, before we crash and burn, right? And then,
Yeah.
he goes on to say that the conscience treats us to do what we believe is right, and helps to restrain us from what we believe is wrong, right? And I think that's kind of where the notion of, can it be infallible? Yes, right? Like, maybe we place too much emphasis on something that's probably not wrong, but we have made it wrong in our own minds, and that leads to the excessive guilt and stuff like that. But
Are you
he
talking about like personal convictions?
yes, yeah, but to
Yeah.
to that end, he does say that it shouldn't be equated with the voice of God or the law of God, that it's a human faculty that judges our actions and thoughts by the light of the highest standard we perceive. So, these things aren't always of God. And I think I've just put so much emphasis on everything because I ascribe that sense of morality and stuff to God, if that makes any sense at all. So
It does, because, like, I have a personal conviction of, I don't like, I usually don't like people that, or I think Christians shouldn't particularly work in fields where they have great authority over people.
mm-hmm,
I think that goes against a lot of things.
mm-hmm.
And so I'll often think down on
Yeah,
people who are Christians that are in like HR
mm-hmm,
or cops,
mm-hmm.
things like that, because they just have such a bad rep anymore of
Mm-hmm.
being just like the worst people.
Yeah,
They're like the tax collectors of our day.
mm-hmm.
You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
yeah,
That's kind of how I see it,
mm-hmm.
as like citizens that we generally dislike:
Mm.
lawyers,
Yeah,
HR people,
right,
police.
mm-hmm,
For the most part,
mm-hmm.
police suck these days. Um, all they do, at least all they do here in America, is just pull you over.
Yeah,
Like, all they do is just pull people over to get tickets for the county.
mm-hmm.
They're just fundraising.
Yeah,
They're just out driving, being predators, fundraising for the county. That's all they are to me.
yeah,
Um, and so, if I love the ones that are detectives.
mm-hmm.
That's cool.
Yeah,
You're not doing that stupid, stealing from the people thing.
right,
They're literally the like, they're worse than tax collectors.
mm-hmm. Yeah,
These cops that just go around pulling people over for the county. It's absurd.
right. Yeah, that's
Oh, you're going 4 over the speed limit.
yeah.
What you got going on? Where you going?
Yeah.
I hate it when they ask me questions. Listen, I'm not your friend. Um, I don't. You don't need to know where I'm going
Yeah.
ever.
Yeah.
Not once do I need to answer that question.
Yeah.
And I am a very Christian person who is not doing anything shady,
Mm-hmm.
and I hate it when when they ask these things. It
Yeah.
upsets me greatly,
Right.
and I don't think a Christian should be doing that.
Man, that's interesting. Equating them
And
to tax collectors, because it's true. That's kind of true in a lot of ways.
that's my personal conviction that a lot of Christians don't feel that way.
Mm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Most people hearing this might think I'm being ridiculous, but
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I am,
Yeah.
because that's my personal conviction.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe it's a issue of mine. Is it a sin for me to think this way? I don't think so.
Yeah.
But should I make them feel bad about it? Not necessarily, no.
Yeah.
That that's the personal conviction
Right.
that I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Is that just because I feel that way, it's not necessarily biblical to feel that way.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
you shouldn't make them feel bad about it.
Mm-hmm.
That's you know what I mean? That's me inserting my conviction into what we're talking about.
Well,
Is that it's that exact same kind of thing?
yeah. Right. Well, I guess an argument would be to that would be, do you not think it's beneficial to have Christians in those positions to kind of help change that narrative? And it probably doesn't happen as often as it should, or if maybe not at all, but to kind of turn all of that stuff around to maybe
No,
guide.
I think the system is completely broken,
Mm.
and you can and Christians being the foot soldiers
Mm-hmm.
is the last thing you need. You need Christians being at the very tippy top.
Yeah.
And if you're not there, it's never going to do anything all that productive. It's going to stay greedy
Mm-hmm.
and decently corrupt.
Mm. Yeah.
This reminds me of this just struck me as something that the Lord wants me to say,
Mm-hmm.
is that, listen, do you trust our FBI? Do you trust the CIA
Mm-hmm.
fully? You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. No, I know what you're saying.
The answer is no.
Mm-hmm.
And so when we say when I say and we say that we support Israel,
Mm-hmm.
that doesn't mean that we support every single aspect of Israel.
Mm-hmm.
In the same way of me saying I support America, I do not support a lot of the country.
Yeah.
You know
Right.
what I mean?
No, I do. Yeah.
And so it's absurd for people to get so angry about it.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, listen, Israel isn't Netanyahu
Mm-hmm.
and the bombs.
Right.
Israel is a people
Mm-hmm.
that I love.
Yeah.
Okay?
Mm-hmm.
And they don't think it that way.
Mm-hmm.
And I need some people to realize that those are very different things.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
can love Israel. I can defend Israel
Mm-hmm.
right now, and I will, because we love Israel. They're God's people, regardless of what government's doing right now, because that's what governments do, because governments are corrupt everywhere,
Mm-hmm.
full of sin.
Yep.
That's just the way it is.
Mm.
Lucifer has great grasp of this world,
Yeah. Oh,
and we are literally the only thing that fights against it.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, what a heavy burden.
Yeah. Yeah.
Almost gave myself a panic attack saying
I get it, dude.
it, because that hit me pretty hard when I said it.
Yeah.
Oh Lord, we need to
Yeah.
we the church, as this book says, we need to focus on us being as holy as possible.
Mm-hmm.
And that's it, because that's what the world needs.
Right.
People know what the church is, and people will come to church often anyway on their own
Mm-hmm.
because they're seeking something. The thing is that they need to find holy people,
Mm-hmm.
not people playing board games in the back.
Shots fired, dude.
Yeah,
Oh, dude.
literally shots fired to
Yeah.
my old church. Yeah. Um, it annoyed me greatly.
I could tell.
If they talked about Jesus more while playing board games, I wouldn't make it a big deal.
Yeah.
But they didn't. They
Right.
would just talk about whatever
Yeah.
and mostly focus on the game and care way too much about the game.
Yeah.
It's just like, man, this isn't why I'm here. Like, I can go home, play better games with more fun people.
Yeah. Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, Jesus. I really am.
Yeah. Oh, we all are, aren't we?
That's just another personal conviction of mine. I don't know. I just wanted more fellowship.
Yeah.
Just want to talk about Jesus. Can we talk about Jesus?
We can. And
You're the
we
only
shall.
people that I can talk about Jesus with. So can we not just play games?
Right. Yeah. I agree, dude. I agree.
I already just play games with secular people.
Yeah.
We play better games.
And maybe more interesting conversation.
I'll play your bad games if we talk about Jesus. Because
Yeah.
I'll do anything.
Right.
Just talk about Jesus.
That's what's up, man.
As long as it's not sinning. As long as it's not blatant sinning.
Right. I hope that goes without saying, but here we are.
Yeah.
So, back.
Cracking myself up already.
So, a theme is the suppression of the conscience, right? To overrule it, to kind of kick it out. So MacArthur goes on to say that they conclude that the real blame for their wrong behavior lies in childhood trauma, the way their parents raised them, societal pressure, or other causes beyond their control. Or they convince themselves that this sin is a clinical problem and not a mortal one, and therefore define their alcoholism, sexual perversion, immorality, or other vices as diseases. And
this is probably the part that upset me the most in the entire book.
Yeah.
The way that he attacks mental health in this way, without giving mental health any credit at all. When yet again, I feel like most mental health nowadays, it's done then again, this was written I got to remember this was written a long time ago.
Yeah, like 30 years ago.
And so mental health wasn't as good as it is now, I suppose.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But, give them some credit.
Yeah.
That they know that abusing children is bad.
Yeah.
And that it does these things. It creates these exact symptoms.
Right. Oh, yeah.
He gives them no credit for that. And that upsets me.
Yeah.
In a way. This is probably the most ignorant thing I've ever heard him say.
Yeah.
But that's probably because of the time difference and just my knowledge versus his knowledge in the field.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's almost like we're saying, hey, when you abuse children, the demons they get do these things. And that's fascinating.
Right.
That's not something you should just throw out the window. You know what I mean? And be like, nah, it's stupid.
Yeah.
No. You got to at least give him some credit. That's all
Right.
I'm saying. He's just like, that's stupid.
Yeah.
And I'm like, hey, now, wait a second. But I want to say that that's probably because of, I don't know, it being 97, 96 when he wrote it.
Yeah.
Came out in 97.
Well, I'd be curious to see it. I think it's more indicative of the times we live in now, right? It's just everybody who does something bad blames it on something else, right? And
Sure. I mean, I know that that's what he's attacking,
right. But that's not
but
how
I'm
it comes
saying that there's
across.
still a lot of, yeah, there's still a lot of good things.
Right.
And I think he should have mentioned the good things.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, no, and I agree, but I think you have to kind of look at it in that way that a lot of people do use stuff like that as an excuse to completely just sin to their heart's content, right? But
That goes to show you just how strong those demons are.
oh yeah. Yeah.
Um, I mean, childhood trauma is a big deal. We all know that.
Yeah. Well, I would argue in his defense that maybe he's speaking to the people who haven't tried to get help or haven't gone to the Lord to try and get help.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Know that they're just perpetually
Right.
always
Right.
victimhood.
Yeah. And they just haven't done anything to
Um,
try to help
John
themselves.
MacArthur totally knew where society was going
Mm-hmm.
in terms of victimhood.
Yeah.
And that's probably the coolest part of this book
Yeah. I
was
agree.
how much he knew.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, when I saw him speak, I saw him actually speak in 97.
Mm-hmm.
Not me. See, I watched a video recording of him speaking about it from
Right.
1997.
Mm-hmm.
And everything he said came true.
Yeah.
Every single thing he said, he was like, society's going to do this. And it did.
That's crazy,
Like three things came through. And I think maybe it's because he is out there in Orange County.
Mm-hmm.
That's where a
Yeah.
lot of sin starts.
Yeah, that's true. He's like,
He's
it's seeing
he's
the worst
right
of
up
it.
there. He's up
Yeah.
front.
Right.
Dude, he was you gotta remember John MacArthur is yeah, he's on the front line.
Mm-hmm.
He's at the vanguard.
Right. Absolutely.
He held strong. He's like you know, his weapon was a shield,
Yeah.
you know,
Oh yeah.
more than a sword maybe,
Right.
because he was just yeah, he was on the front lines.
Mm. No, that's very true. So I'm sure that tempered his language to varying degrees, but yeah, I mean, none of what he said is wrong when looked at in context, right? I'm sure he was attacked for writing this book. You can almost guarantee it, especially now. If people were reading it, they would probably
Well, for
just
sure.
rip it to shreds because of victimhood, and we're all guilty of it. You know, I am. I try to acknowledge when I am and shut that down, but sometimes it kind of gets away from you. Gets away from me. But
Well, there's a bit of a loop here in
yeah.
terms of what I would say that if I could talk to John MacArthur, I would ask him this.
Mm-hmm.
Because he is someone that doesn't really believe in miracles
Mm-hmm.
anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And so I would be like, so how do you fight clear mental illness? I'm not sure if he's ever met anyone who's mentally ill.
Mm-hmm.
He's maybe met some strange people,
Yeah.
but then there are mentally ill people
Right.
that they're usually locked away still. You know,
Mm-hmm.
people are like, where's the asylums? They're still there in a way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
And I've worked in these places,
Mm-hmm.
and these people are crazy,
Yeah.
and they're way different than anyone you'll meet.
Mm-hmm.
So what does he say about that?
Yeah.
Um, are we to how do we help them
Yeah.
if you don't believe in miracles anymore? How do we help these people? Are you saying they put themselves in this?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Right.
I don't. There are some mental illnesses that are not caused from bad thinking habits.
Mm-hmm.
A lot are. A
Yeah.
lot are though. And I
Right.
talked about that last episode.
Yeah.
And that's just all I'm saying is that there are some real mental illnesses that you could argue are complete demonic possessions because some of them feel that way.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I've worked with a lot of schizophrenic people, and a lot of them just seem like they're possessed by demons. I'm just saying it as it is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't doubt that.
Calling it like I see it.
Right.
Calling it like I see it, that any person I've ever met with schizophrenia seems decently demonic in there somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
Not necessarily in their personality, but just in the way they think
Yeah.
is so odd. The way that they'll, see and hear things
Mm-hmm.
is so odd.
Yeah. No, I believe it.
Um, there's some weird things going on. Yeah. And it's interesting that it's such a common thing
Mm.
that yet again mental health has completely documented everything to really pinpoint, you know, we got a lot of diagnoses these days because it's really getting pinned down.
Right. No, absolutely.
And I find that to be demonologists should find that fascinating,
Mm-hmm.
to be honest with you.
Yeah, I mean, you could argue
It's
that
like
the miracles
this
are
is what
science,
this
though.
is what this is what the demons do.
Yeah.
This is how they show up
Right.
in a way
Well,
for
it
a lot of
may
these.
it may be completely misguided, but I mean, if well, he does. God has his hand in science, obviously, right? He allows us to learn these things. So you could argue that these cures and things are miracles in and of themselves, right? Because he allowed them to us to discover them, kind of thing. But maybe that's
Yeah,
a fallible argument. But
I don't know. I mean, I have that argument because I take RX medication.
mm-hmm.
But it is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I don't like taking pills,
Yeah,
so I wouldn't take something that is that invasive.
right.
So I've taken a lot of pills that I stopped taking
Mm-hmm.
because they were too invasive.
Yeah.
So I take what I feel like keeps me me.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yes, I do.
So I feel like if as long as you do that, it's not that bad.
Yeah.
I know that pharmacia, is where we get the word sorcery.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah, that's interesting. I didn't know that.
am I practicing sorcery by taking pills instead of trusting God?
Mm.
You could argue that in some way,
Yeah.
but so that's why I don't know what to think about it.
Well, when you
You could
put it
say,
that way.
hey, these help,
Yeah.
so take them,
Mm-hmm.
but so I do. I don't
Interesting.
take them as I don't take as high as dosage anymore.
Yeah. That's a that's a good point, man. I've never looked at it like that.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I've had these arguments with myself.
Well, I thought you were gonna say many people, but with myself.
No,
Yeah.
you're being like, am I sinning?
Yeah.
Maybe,
Mm-hmm.
probably, but hopefully he forgives me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I
And I
mean,
don't know. I want to say, obviously, abusing drugs is sinning, and
right.
taking them as prescribed, maybe that's not sinning.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. Well, you just got to be
Man,
sober minded.
we got into a loop here.
Mm-hmm. Well, allow me to break us out of it then, or maybe put us right back into it. We'll figure this out in a second. But he does say the conscience is not infallible, right? And it's not a source of revelation about right or wrong. Um, he goes on to say that it's not to teach us moral and ethic ideals, but to hold us accountable to the highest standard of right and wrong that we know. So the conscience is informed by tradition as well as by truth. So the standards it holds us to are not necessarily biblical ones. And I guess that comes from 1 Corinthians 8, 6 through 9. The conscience can be needlessly condemning in areas where there is no biblical issue. And that's
Yeah,
where,
that's what I was talking about
right.
with me talking about cops and stuff.
Right. And that's what I get caught up in as well, I think. He goes on, in fact, it can try to hold us to the very thing the Lord is trying to release us from. Romans 14 and 20 through 23. The conscious, to operate fully and in accord with true holiness, must be informed by the Word of God. So even when guilt feelings don't have a biblical basis, they are an important spiritual distress sign. If they're only signaling a weak conscience, then that should spur us to seek the spiritual growth that would bring our conscience more in harmony with God's word. And that's why I get a little worried, because it shows me the weakness in my understanding of the word, I believe. And I don't like that.
Yeah.
I don't like being a
What
big dummy.
what do you think my weakness is based on that? Is it authority figures?
Could be.
But I think it's mostly greed
Yeah.
and them working with people that, I don't know, just make money off people
Yeah. I would
and
argue that it's more that than our.
control people's financial life, because that's what HR does.
Right. Exactly.
HR can just financially ruin someone.
Yeah.
And that's what cops do all the time.
Right.
Here's a ticket, and by the way, if you don't pay it, you're going to get a ticket for that, and
Yeah.
then eventually you will go to jail if you just don't pay this ticket. So
Right. Yeah. I think I hope
and
that.
they're okay with being a foot soldier in that.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Man, I just hope
There
that.
was a big,
Go ahead.
no, please, you go.
I hope that
Please,
is
you go.
exclusively to our county. Like, I don't want to paint with broad strokes, but hopefully, just because we come from a
We
small
all
town.
know that almost every small county is like this.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I hope that's where it ends, but I'm sure it doesn't, dude.
No, dude.
But,
No, dude, that's all cops do.
yeah.
They're not doing, unless they're on a call.
Mm-hmm.
They're just going to be like a shark,
Yeah.
just going around trying to give someone a ticket.
Well,
I couldn't do that.
yeah.
I couldn't do it.
Right.
My conscience wouldn't let me do that. I'd be like, I'm not doing that. Yeah, you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Well,
I remember I got fired from I quit
mm-hmm.
because they were going to fire me.
Yeah.
My very first job ever was working for a call center.
Mm-hmm.
You know the one
Oh,
here
yeah.
in town.
I do.
So what you do is you try to you want them to agree to a roofing estimate.
Mm. Yep.
And like I wouldn't call churches
Mm-hmm.
and stuff like that because we didn't even do shingles.
Right.
So I'm just like, yeah, okay. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like are we going to call the mega churches?
Right.
Because that's like the kind of stuff you're doing.
Yeah.
And anyways, so like I wouldn't call churches. I would like hang it up and reset the system.
Mm-hmm.
And dude, that made him so mad. And I'm like, I'm not doing it.
Yeah.
And they're like, well, you got to do it or you don't get a job. And so we'll find out if you show up on Monday. And
Yeah.
so I didn't show up. I didn't show up on Monday. I was like, I'm not going to call churches to sell them things that they don't need.
Yeah. Right.
Now I could probably look up some churches.
Mm-hmm.
I could look up some specific churches to call if you want me to,
Yeah.
that I feel like they might.
Right.
But I'm not just going to cold call all these churches
Right.
for this stupid reason. I'm not doing it.
I appreciate you
And
sticking to your guns. That's great.
yeah, dude. I couldn't do it, and I also couldn't pull people over for stupid reasons. I couldn't do it
Well,
for the same reason.
to that end, I think I have a greater appreciation for cops in the States because I live in Japan, where they don't do anything here. I had someone try to break into my house when my wife was pregnant, and we called the cops, and it took them 45 minutes to respond. Okay, so
Wow.
so I have a small little police station where they live. Right, they live there, and they respond to calls from these places. One is 2 minutes down the street, and another is about 7 to 8 minutes, and then the other police stations are all within 10-ish minutes. Okay, and the first thing they said were like, oh, and they're always super dismissive, right? They won't do anything unless somebody is harmed, and that's where they run into a lot of problems with women getting sexually assaulted and attacked, stalked. My wife had a friend who was stalked and getting death threats, and they're like, oh, unless he actually physically touches you, we're not going to do anything, right? And so we have these loud
Well,
bikes and these loud
you get
cars.
that a lot here too, I think.
Do you? And maybe I haven't lived there in 10+ years, but
It would need to be like written evidence and stuff, probably.
yeah. Well, so every night, generally like clockwork, we have loud cars, people going in excess of 20 to 30 kilometers over the speed limit, right? The loud motorcycles, and we call them, and it takes 20 to 30 minutes to respond, and then they give us a story about, they say kawaiso, which is the equivalent of, oh, you poor thing, right? And dude, they just don't do anything. We asked them if they could just sit here because they'll sit at train stops, train track stops, and they'll pull people over for not stopping fully, or if someone just walks out into a crosswalk and say you're like right up on it and you really can't stop, they'll pull you over for that, for not stopping. So really goofy things. Having headphones on in when you're riding your bike, but we asked them if they could just sit somewhere because it's going to happen, right? And they love to collect money as well. So why don't they sit out here on this road? And they're like, oh, yeah, well, we can't sit anywhere that's not public property or something to that effect. And we have plenty of public property everywhere. So I've had 10 to 12 run-ins where we needed the police to do something, and not one time have they done anything, So I guess in the States, it very much felt like they at least tried to do something. But this was a long time ago. I mean, this was, 2010? So like 15 years ago that I truly
No,
lived
I
in the
want to
States.
say it would be pretty easy to get a cop to set up somewhere at least once
Yeah,
in the
but
state.
they won't. Oh, in the States. Yeah, right.
Yeah,
Plus,
that's what I'm saying.
there's like
At
noise
least, yeah, we
ordinances.
got that at least.
Yeah.
They're like, yeah, you want us to harass some people over there? All right, yeah. I was going to harass people over here, but
Yeah.
if you're saying there's people over there, all right.
Well, we need them to harass the harassers here. Like I was telling you just
Yeah,
last night, dude. It wakes me up from a dead sleep, even with headphones in. Like I took sleeping pills to fall asleep because I had to, have awesome insomnia all the time, and it wakes me up through that. It's genuinely that loud. But anyways, I'll cry more off air. But let's. I only have about 15 minutes, so we'll try to get through this chapter so we can at least get to part 2 next time.
yeah. Let's focus on the book somehow.
Yeah. Well, so here the wise Christian wants to master biblical truth so that the conscience is completely informed and judges right because it is responding to God's word. A regular diet of scripture will strengthen a weak conscience or restrain an overactive one. Conversely, error, human wisdom, and wrong moral influences filling the mind will corrupt or cripple the conscience. In other words, the conscience functions like a skylight, and I like the way he phrases this. Not a light bulb. It lets light into the soul. It does not produce its own. Its effectiveness is determined by the amount of pure light we expose it to and by how clean we keep it. Cover it or put it in total darkness, and it ceases to function. So, throughout the Bible, the Apostle Paul speaks to a clear conscience like several different times. And boy, do I wish I possessed that. You know, the strength that guy possessed mentally is something to marvel at, really. Um, and then he's just like he goes on to describe it as a courtroom, right? Just that you can't really hide from your conscience all that long. It'll eventually catch up to you, and if you're guilty, you kind of condemn yourself. It's like judge, jury, and witness.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
let's see.
Oh yeah. Like if you think you've actually done something wrong,
Right. Yeah.
like I hadn't felt that feeling in a long time,
Mm-hmm.
but I remember it.
Yeah.
It's
Right.
almost like it's like an anxiety attack.
Oh yeah. Absolutely.
Really.
Yeah.
Like, oh no,
Yeah.
I didn't realize. Oops.
Yeah. So it kind of goes on. He's like he says rather not. He's like, when God's own verdict is not guilty, wholly righteous, how can someone else accuse us? And to me, like, let alone ourselves, like, rather me letting my conscience accuse me of things or feel guilty for things when he says we're not guilty, kind of thing. I kind of let my human side definitely overtake me on that one, and I don't put faith in his verdict. I put more emphasis on the condemnation I feel from my conscience, if that makes any sense
Yeah.
at all.
Yeah, it does.
But yeah, so the rest of it is kind of on him talking about Jesus' sacrifice and that. So here specifically, in other words, when Satan, the accuser of our brethren, who accuses them before our God day and night, which is Revelations 12:10, brings an allegation against us, the blood of Christ speaks of mercy. When our own sins cry out against us, the blood of Christ speaks on our behalf. Thus, the blood of Christ speaks better than the blood of Abel. That's Hebrews 12:24. But when I'm in the throes of a guilty conscience, it's very difficult to remember those words. You know what I'm saying? In that,
Hmm.
I don't know. And truth be told, I didn't take a whole lot of notes after the initial part, but here he does. I mentioned earlier that they speak about the conscience, right? Paul does it in Acts 23:1. Looking intently at the council, Paul said, "Brethren, I have lived my life with a perfectly good conscience before God up to this day." And then again in Acts 24:16, 1 Timothy 1:5, 1 Timothy 1:18 through 19, 2 Timothy, like the list goes on and on and on. So they hit on the topic of conscience quite often.
That'd be a beautiful thing to say.
Yeah, right. I wish.
I'm not there yet.
Yeah. And this one stuck out to me as well. The quote that comes from something that MacArthur said. Ironically, a weak conscience is more likely to accuse than a strong conscience. Scripture calls this a weak conscience because it is too easily wounded. And, brother, that's me, right? That is me. So, in light of that, he goes on to describe how overcoming a weak conscience can be achieved. So he kind of says it's not the same as a seared conscience, because a seared conscience is something that becomes inactive. Like you've subjected it to awful things so often and shunned it so often that it kind of silences itself. Um,
Yeah.
but he says people with weak consciences tend to fret about things that should provoke no guilt in a mature Christian who knows God's truth. And that's kind of where I am. I think I let so many things, even when I'm not in the wrong, I will take on that guilt because I'll just assume that I said something wrong or that the way I said something was offensive or harmful. So,
Right.
but that comes from not being a mature Christian, and I don't like to admit that. That to me sounds like an awful thing to admit because it's an admission of weak faith, right? Um,
No, just an admission of new faith.
Yeah. I like that a
The
lot better.
seed is still planting.
Yeah.
The seed is growing.
I like that.
You know, when it's like an early tree and you
Yeah.
could easily cut it.
Right.
That's where you're at.
Yeah, but I don't like being there. I don't like
You know,
admitting that
it's
I have a
still
problem.
kind of green.
Yeah.
It's not even all that barky yet.
Mm-hmm.
Barely
Yeah.
even looks like a tree.
Yeah. Well,
A kid wouldn't even know it was a tree.
yeah. No, you're right. As much as I don't like to admit it, but you know, Paul, and this is what got me right. Um, Paul, he says that the weak believers are more likely to be over scrupulous, legalistic, and troubled by their conscience in an unhealthy way. Um, that's kind of where I live. I get troubled by my conscience, and it's very unhealthy because I'll just sit and stew on things until it boils over inevitably. But I spoke to how he
Sometimes I
said,
get mad about stuff at work.
yeah,
Is that what you mean?
yeah, um, and then my reaction to it or how I talk. And I told you about the whole situation before, how my attempt at being direct kind of blew up in my face, and so I've felt guilty this whole time. Whether or not I was wrong, I don't know, but it's kind of affected how. Let's see, how do I say this? It's affected me during this recording, and I feel like I'm not 100% in the game because that guilt is still screaming at the back of my head. Right, like I did something
Ah,
wrong.
yeah.
It's very distracting, and if I sound like I'm getting too far away from it or whatever, or stumbling on my words, it's why. It's because I'm so hyper focused on my reaction or how that situation unfolded, when realistically everyone apologized and it's all good, but I can't let it go, kind of thing. And I think that's my conscience because I feel like that I hurt somebody's feelings, and that's not the guy I want to be. So I let stuff like that beat me up, whether or not I did. Right, I don't know.
Right. Maybe you can just ask him how you can make it up to him.
Oh, we have, and that's the problem. It's all good, but my conscience won't let me, or my mind, one of the two. And this has just become a vent session. Gonna have to chapter this one out too. But uh, it says that weak believers must not learn to overrule conscience. If that becomes a habit, they condition themselves to reject the promptings of conscience. They will thus forfeit one of the most important means of sanctification. So, I've said before that I admire when people can just shut their conscience off. Now, I admire that a lot less because I kind of understand how much they've had to subject themselves to something and wrongdoing to get to that spot, right? And that me, I guess I would rather have one that's overreactive versus underreactive.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean? While both probably
No
do.
one's saying no one's saying where you're at's bad. We're
Yeah.
just saying that you're on the right path.
Yeah.
You're not there yet.
Yeah, but it's
It
hard.
takes a while to get places. It sucks.
Yeah. It's hard
You
to
know
see
what?
the
You know
forest through
what
the trees,
sucks?
but
Learning guitar.
yeah. Yes, I'm aware. Oh,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
So
Yeah.
that wasn't nice. That wasn't fun.
Mm-hmm.
Glad I did it.
Yeah, absolutely. So I don't
I've
know.
heard authors be like, I hate writing,
Mm-hmm.
but I love having written.
Yeah,
And I was like, that's a good way to word it.
right. Well, you know what's interesting is I used to think that my weak conscience was indicative of some sense of morality, right? Like a superior sense of morality. But MacArthur again calls me out. A weak and constantly accusing conscience is a spiritual liability, not a strength. Many people with especially tender consciences, ouch, tender, tend to display their over scrupulousness as if it were proof of deep spirituality. It is precisely the opposite. Dude, he just spoke to me. This whole chapter spoke to me. That's why I couldn't make it out of
Dang,
this chapter in time.
dang, okay.
Yeah. So
I see what you're saying.
he says that rather, I believe this is Paul that says it in 1 Corinthians 8:13. Those with weak consciences tend to be easily offended and stumble frequently. They are often overly critical of others, which is Romans 14:3-4. They are too susceptible to the lure of legalism, which is also Romans 14, and their thoughts and hearts are soon defiled. So I guess defiled by anger and anxiety and things like that. But I get offended easily sometimes. I really do, and that's been made evident by our
Well,
conversations.
same,
But
same.
yeah,
Well, I mean, I get offended by blasphemy and stuff.
right. That to me is seated in righteousness, so I don't see anything wrong with that. Because
That's what I think too. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Whenever I do the Lord's Prayer, because I basically do the Lord's Prayer every day.
yeah, mm-hmm.
Often, whenever I say like "Hallowed be your name," I'd be like, "I hate." Usually, I go on like a little tangent.
Yeah,
Like, I hate the way they blaspheme your name,
yes,
and I hate the way that they make fun of me for it,
right,
and I hate the way that they think that they're walking on eggshells around me.
mm-hmm.
When I don't want to do that, and he's like, "Well, I don't care
Mm-hmm.
how they feel about it."
Right, yeah,
That's what God's
absolutely.
saying. And I'm just like, "Yeah, you're right. Yeah,
Well,
they're the wrong ones."
yeah,
So
yeah. Uh, I do like towards the we're actually approaching the end of this conversation. Sorry, the end of this chapter, and actually the conversation because I got to go in about 10 minutes. But he
yeah,
does give us per scripture ways to keep a pure conscience, and I'll kind of there's one I'm gonna focus on, but I'll just kind of give you the long and short. The first one is to confess and forsake known sin, right? Examine your feelings in light of Scripture. Deal with the sin God's word reveals. For in Proverbs 28:13 it says, "He who conceals his transgressions will not prosper, but he who confesses and forsakes them will find compassion." So there's also something about that in John and James. So, but above all, we should confess to the one whom sins offends most. As David wrote, "I acknowledge my sin to thee, and my iniquity I did not hide. I said, I will confess my transgressions to the Lord, and thou didst forgive the guilt of my sin." My problem is I forsake them temporarily. But he also goes on, ask forgiveness and be reconciled to anyone you have wronged. So I practice that one in a big way. I'm always apologizing, dude. And I don't know that that's the best thing to do, right? But here we are.
yeah. Whenever, yet again, going to the Lord's Prayer,
Mhm.
whenever I say, "Forgive me of my sins as I forgive others," I
Uh-huh.
try to be like, and if I haven't, remind me
Right.
of some people
Yeah.
I need to apologize for. For example, I need to apologize to my next door neighbor,
Mm-hmm.
and I haven't because I don't want to.
I get that. Dude, I get that. Man.
Well, I went off on him one time,
Mm-hmm.
and I shouldn't have.
Yeah.
But I also felt like he shouldn't have been, you know, talking to me at the time. I don't know.
Yeah.
Um,
I understand that. I really
and
do.
he didn't deserve me to freak out on him.
Yeah.
He was in the wrong spot at the wrong time, the wrong person.
Yeah. Well.
He uh he overstepped. He crossed some boundaries,
Mm-hmm.
should we say?
Yeah. Well, there's always time. Always
But
time
I
to
still
forgive.
feel like I should write him a letter,
Yeah.
or something.
Why not? Let's do it right now. Let's write it out. I got 5 minutes. No. So this kind of speaks to that, right? Make restitution. It talks about confessing your sins and for restitution, add to it 1/5, right? And give it to the person whom you've wronged. And that's in Numbers. The principle behind this law is binding on believers living in the New Testament era as well, he says. So it's never too late to make restitutions. And this speaks to that too. Don't procrastinate in clearing your wounded conscience. Paul said he did his best to maintain always a blameless conscience both before God and before men. Acts 24:16. Some people put off dealing with their guilt, thinking their conscience will clear itself in time. It won't. Procrastination allows the guilt feelings to fester. That in turn generates depression, anxiety, and other emotional problems. And then it just kind of goes on from there to furthermore, conscious errors when the mind focuses wholly on our faltering in sin and ignores the triumphs of God's grace in us. I love that, dude, because I am so guilty of focusing on the faltering. And then I have a moment like to kind of bring it all back where I was watching that movie and it kind of helped me realize what God's done in my life up until this point. Like there are changes whether I choose to focus on them or not, you know?
Yeah. That's what's up.
Yeah. And he
Not
says,
being, you got to be, you got to, I don't know, focus on gratitude.
yeah. And I'm bad
What you
about that.
got.
Yeah. I'm so bad about that. But he goes on to
Me
say,
too. We've talked about this.
oh, yeah. Yeah.
We need a whole episode about it.
Yep. In one day, you know?
Write it down. Mark it down.
But he goes on, true Christians experience both realities. Conscience must be allowed to weigh the fruit of the Spirit in our lives as well as the remnants of our sinful flesh. It must be our faith as well as our failings. Otherwise, the conscience will become overly accusing, prone to unwholesome doubts about our standing before God. And that speaks volumes, doesn't it? Unwholesome doubts about your standing before God. It's very easy to get wrapped up in that as well. And brother,
whenever I start, if I had fallen into sin a bit and I go to pray and I'm like, almost, I always do a prayer of I don't even know why you'd pay attention to me almost.
Right. Oh yeah.
Like Amazing Grace kind of lyrics, know?
Absolutely. I'm
a little pathetic creature going before your throne like a little Gollum creature. You know?
I've been there, dude. 100%.
The way I feel, that's the way every human should feel, I think.
Right. Absolutely.
But as long as you're always humbling yourself, that's where you should be.
Yeah.
Because that's all I want to see in a person, really, to know that they're really going places.
Right.
As long as you can humble yourself before God, know that you are sinning, rather.
Yep.
Admit it. Admit that it's a wrong thing. It's so wild how people get so mad about sin when they don't even believe in it.
Yeah. Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
Man, I think we've talked about that before, but it always tickles me.
Yeah.
Like, what exactly are you mad about?
Yeah. You don't believe this stuff.
Is it just you craving acceptance?
Right. Oh yeah.
Because you're not going to get it.
Yeah. So the last part, and I truly believe this to be the last part. I keep saying that, but he talks about recovering the doctrine of conscience. So like in psychology, the church has adopted a lot of psychological things. Like so it's become an attack on the conscience, and it's hardening people against the truth of the gospel, right? They're kind of what's the word? They're playing into these people's I guess you would call it ignoring their conscience and their sins and making excuses for them, much like the whole victimhood mentality kind of creeped its way into the church, right? And you can see that what that kind of doctrine has done to the church if you just get on YouTube for 5 minutes, right?
My goodness, look at what it's done to society.
Right. And
oh my goodness, mixed with quote unquote empathy.
Right, exactly. And he says, go ahead.
Yeah. No, please continue. I'll just rant about dumb things.
So he says some Christians sensing this effect have concluded that the gospel message needs updating, right? They've removed the idea of
Oh my
sin
goodness.
altogether
Yes.
from the message. And that's
Oh my goodness.
the point I inelegantly was trying to get to.
Oh, preach it.
Yep.
Preach it, MacArthur.
he
He would have
says,
saw that. He would have saw that over there for sure.
"Oh yeah, 100%."
Over in Orange County.
Right.
Yeah, being gay is not a sin. Come
Right.
on in. We'll
Right.
accept you. Well, I mean, come on in anyway.
Yeah.
But the accepting is another part. Listen,
Buckle up.
um, buckle in, buckaroo.
Yeah.
Here's the thing about homosexuality
Mhm.
is that it's a strange sin, isn't it?
Mhm.
What if what do we think about people that have those feelings and thoughts?
Mhm.
Is it that much different than any other temptation? I don't know.
Right. And we
You
won't
know what I
know.
mean?
We can't know,
So I
actually.
don't have that temptation. I have other
Mm.
temptations.
Yeah.
And so someone having homosexual temptations is not a sin.
Mhm.
And I will always say that.
Yeah.
However, marriage is between a man and a woman,
Mhm.
and any sex outside of marriage is a sin.
Yeah.
And therefore, no homosexuality, no sex in homosexuality is ever sanctified
Right.
before God.
Well,
That's where it is.
and it goes back to what you said, right? Thinking and doing are two separate things. You could probably think
Yeah,
those thoughts, but if you're acting them out, that's when trouble starts.
yeah. Well, I mean, Jesus tells you that you craving the things in your heart
Mm-hmm.
is you being, you how well. I mean, he says it in many different ways,
Right.
but you're in threat. You're in danger of hellfire,
Mm-hmm.
basically.
Yeah.
He's like, you're walking the line, buddy.
Right.
That's what he's saying.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that's the
Never
whole.
thought of it that way,
Yeah.
but
Well,
that's exactly what he's saying. Hey, now you're getting close
yeah.
because if you want to do it in your heart,
Right.
you'll do it.
Yeah. Exactly.
It made me think of, like people questioning, like, how do people do these bad things?
Mm-hmm.
Like public mass shootings or
Mm-hmm.
stuff like that.
Yeah.
And we can almost narrow it down to, yet again, the psychological field knows that they need to fantasize about it for about 3 years first, by the
Mm.
way.
Oh, really? Interesting.
Yeah. Before you can actually get that deprived. So it's
Wow.
neat, yet again, that science has put like a timeline
Yeah.
into
Absolutely.
how long exactly does it take before your conscience is just totally destroyed
Right.
and you act on the worst of things. Turns out it's about 3 years.
That's terrifying. But this actually speaks to what you were just saying, I think. Speaking to the church, right, and updating the gospel message, they've removed the idea of sin altogether from the message. They offer Christ.
Yeah.
Yeah. They offer
Yeah, what is
Christ.
he a savior of then?
Right.
Sorry.
Right. No, and it kind of here's what it is. And they offer Christ as a savior from meaninglessness, as a means to personal fulfillment, as a solution to self-image problems, or as an answer to emotional needs. The gospel they extend to unbelievers makes no appeal to the conscience, no mention of sin. It is therefore an impotent and spurious message, he says.
It's nonsense.
And he does say later on that instead of eliminating it, they kind of talk it down. They treat the subject as briefly or as mildly as possible. They explain the universality of it, but they don't explain the seriousness, right? And
Yes.
he's just calling these churches out. But
well, the cost of sin is death,
sure is, pal.
or the price rather.
Yep.
That's what my Bible says. I don't know about these other people's Bibles.
Yeah.
I don't know what they're doing. Then again, people are really good about picking and choosing these days.
That is true. Yeah.
We see that a lot in these victimhood people.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
Oh, we're only a victim in this way, not that way.
Right. No, 100%, dude. 100%. How do we change it? How does it change? if you gave a person like that this book, they would be very upset with you, I think.
Yeah. Well, he's saying that it changes by us being more holy,
Yeah.
so that when they do encounter us, they actually encounter someone holy
Yeah.
and not some fool
Yeah.
who just thinks they're a Christian because they went to church one time
Mm-hmm. There's a lot
or
of those,
something.
actually. I used to be one of those, to be honest with you.
Um, and holiness, I think, is. I mean, we're starting to see it. Is that people see holiness and they're like, it inspires them.
Yes, I would agree with that.
And you want to know why? Is because they've really taken it out of. They've really taken virtue
Mm.
even out of the movies
Right.
as much as they used to, because we used to like really when we were kids, it was all about like the guy doing everything right no
Right.
matter what, and
Yeah.
and it never had anything to do with faith ever.
Yeah. Right.
Even you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just about doing good, and now there's like none of that. It's like maybe we do a little good, but we're also really big sinners and we do all these terrible things too. That's what everything is now,
Right.
and it's to make themselves feel better.
Right.
This is true.
Yeah.
I am spitting facts here.
Yeah.
That's what every single stupid show is like now.
Absolutely.
They're all like that.
Oh, yeah.
And it is just so the proof's in the pudding here.
We got a lot of things actively working against us, dude. And
Yeah.
making the impossible
And it
impossibler, you know?
and it makes entertainment worse.
Mm-hmm.
Victimhood is no good for anybody.
It's a cancer, dude. A
Yeah,
cancer.
it's a cancer of society.
Yeah.
That mixed with empathy.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, well, okay, so you think you're a guy?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
but wait. Okay, so I accepted that you think you're a guy,
Right.
but now I can't accept that this guy who thinks he's black.
Yeah.
Why not?
Right.
I thought we were in like made up world all of a sudden.
Right.
But they can't change race,
Yeah.
but they can change sex though.
Right. Right.
Oh, if they just and I wouldn't be so angry about it if they really held their ground
Yeah.
about it.
Right.
They don't, and
Yeah.
that makes me laugh.
Yeah. Dude,
It's like, okay,
I
why
agree.
do you all feel this way?
Mm-hmm.
That makes me think that it's really that's almost what guarantees it being demonic in a way.
Yeah. Right.
Isn't that weird?
Yes. It's very weird.
Because I thought that myself.
Yeah.
You're like, this is the way that these demons manifest.
Yeah. No, it is.
Literally just like a mental illness
Right.
with the DMC-5.
Mm-hmm.
You
Yeah.
got to match these many symptoms. Okay, well,
Yeah.
you think the world can be shifted only in the way you like it.
Right.
And
That's
dude, I'm losing it here.
that's a testament to social media too. I think it's done us a massive disservice. But on that
Oh yeah,
yeah.
buddy,
Right.
big time there.
But on
The narcissism.
that note of an overabundance of positivity that we're about to leave on, I do have to be scooting. So it's been fun. Maybe we can
Okay.
sit on this and just do the last two parts in a later episode. Maybe we'll return to regular scheduled programming next week. I don't know. Who knows, dude? It's a mystery. Maybe we just ride this out.
Abba Father, we come before you as sinners, humble sinners. Please increase our conscience, increase our guilt. Let us increase our love for the things that you love and increase our hate for the things that you hate. I want my heart to reflect yours and not the world's and not what I think is comfortable. I seek your will alone because I seek your presence. And I know alone that Your presence alone is the only reward that we get for doing this. And that is fine. That is all I desire. Pray this in the name of the Lord Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen. You need to do that more often, huh? You need to be doing
What?
that every show. Your prayers, dude, they're always fantastic.
I've been trying to do them every episode now, I think.
Yeah. Well, let's keep it up.
I didn't. Well, I'll try. I'll keep it up.
Maybe I'll throw my hat in the ring one day. One day, dude.
Read some prayer books.
Yeah, I'm going to. I have some actually that I need to get through, but probably need to get through this
when
one
you
first.
start reading prayer books, I'm going to read prayer books because I need to be better than you, obviously.
Yeah, obviously. You got to strive for something.
That's what I did. I pulled it off with a straight face, but
yeah.
then I had to laugh immediately after.
Yeah, well, I thought it was funny. Anyways, until next time, brothers and sisters in Christ.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Amen. Bye.